Hello, I am Billy Manuel Gerardo Lubis. Now, I will explain the profession of advocate. The Indonesian legal profession has its origins in the Dutch colonial era, during which two distinct types of legal practitioners emerged. Procol Bambu. Both played key roles in advising clients and participating in litigation. However, there were notable differences between them, especially in terms of professional qualification and the legal venues where they were permitted to represent clients. Advocates, for example, were required to hold a Master of Law degree in order to practice. Advocates have rights and obligations. First, I will explain what the rights of an advocate are. Advocate has the freedom and independence to express opinions or make statements in the course of handling a case before any court, provided that such action comply with the professional code of ethics and the applicable laws and the regulations. Advocates are free to carry out their duties in accordance with the code of ethics and applicable laws. Advocate cannot be subjected to civil or criminal prosecution for any action carried out in good faith while performing professional duties in the client's interest before the court. Advocates have the right to maintain the confidentiality of their relationships with clients, including protection against confiscation or inspections of case files and documents, as well as against electronic monitoring of communication devices used by advocates. Okay, and now I will explain the obligations of advocates. In the exercise of their professional responsibilities, an advocate is forbidden to treat clients differently due to their gender, religion, political views, ethnicity, race, or social and cultural background. Advocate is obligated to keep confidential all information obtained or disclosed by a client within the scope of their professional relationship except where the law provides otherwise. Advocate is not permitted to occupy any position that may create a conflict of interest with the responsibilities or integrity of the legal provision. An advocate is forbidden from taking on any position that demands service, which could undermine the integrity of the legal professions or compromise the advocate's independence and freedom in carrying out their duties and responsibilities. If advocates accept an appointment as a state official, they are not allowed to engage in legal practice for the duration of their appointment. To become an advocate, you need education. Now, I will explain what education must be taken to become an advocate. To become an advocate, you must complete a Master of Law degree. Advocates must also take the advocate exam, which is held by the Indonesian Advocates Congress and the Indonesian Advocates Association or PRADI. However, most people prefer to take the PRADI exam as the status of the Indonesian Advocate Congress exam is uncertain. Once the requirements are met, applicants are entitled to take the professional oath in the court of their domicile and are then accepted as advocates. If we talk about profession, it certainly won't be far from salary. Now, I will explain how the salary system for advocates works. An advocate is more familiar with the term honorarium when they receive a salary. An honorarium differs from a salary. A salary is paid regularly, but an honorarium is often given as a reward for services rendered, and it is not routine. Therefore, the salary an advocate receives depends on the agreement between the advocate and the client. Okay, so an advocate is a profession that provides legal assistance to clients. Becoming an advocate also requires a minimum education and requires an advocate exam. Then the salary received by the advocate is called an honorarium and the amount is determined according to agreement between the advocate and the client. That's all I can say about advocate profession. Thank you.